Good evening, people. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How are we today? Yeah, I actually have cotton in my mouth. My braces are bothering my lips, so I might sound a little funny. Yeah. Ah, yeah, I'm okay. Yes, today is Monday evening here in Rwanda. Monday, July 21st, 2025. And the time right now is 8:30 p.m. I am just lying here in bed. Another beautiful evening. I stayed in today. I did a little stretching out on my lanai. It was really nice. I haven't done that. Boy, it might have been, mm, boy, I don't remember when I did it last. Like that, at least. It was really nice. And Labby boy, let's see. Labby's okay. Um, yeah, he's okay. Taking one day at a time and just want to enjoy his time. Oh, have you seen? I've been doing some little shorts with Lavi. Yeah, it's trying to cheer me up. That's why I'm doing it. I want memories of him and try to make it into a positive. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, what I want to talk about today? Well, I want to talk about reality. What is reality? Boy, where do I begin? Well, I think, my paradigm shift, as I shared before, started late 2014, but I think by 2016, I found this video about reality. It was in a cartoon form, the format of the video. When my a plane is coming by, hold it. Yeah, I can't compete with those planes. Yeah, I think it was 2016, and it's about what they call the double slit experiment. Um, it's taken these these particles, and they shoot out one particle at a time in the lab. And there's like a wall, and it has these two slits in it, and this thing shoots out the particle, and when you shoot it through, it just goes in, the particle goes through the slits. But when, for whatever reason, oh gosh, I forget exactly how it went. I don't want to give wrong information, but the they realize with this experiment, when they observe the particles going through the double slit on the wall, there was a change in the pattern of the particles. And the the idea of observation, it alters the patterns of the particle against the wall. So they were saying that without consciousness or conscious awareness on something, that it's like it doesn't exist or something like that, something like that. And it was a little spooky. It was a little spooky, and I never thought about the concept of reality. My reality was what I could see, feel, taste, touch, right? But I noticed now there's a lot of movies now that are discussing about reality, such as The Matrix. And there was another movie that came out before The Matrix, The 13th Floor, about reality, about different dimensions. And it was quite interesting. But that double slit experiment was my first introduction. And it was on YouTube. And they had little homework assignments for you to watch a particular movie. Yeah. And it was just to explain the concept about reality. And yeah, I watched the different movies, such as The 13th Floor. I don't remember the other movies, but um, it had me thinking. And well, just before I did this live stream, I was watching another movie called The Source Code. And when I I watched it twice today, or part of it twice today. And I purchased this. Boy, I don't remember exactly when I purchased the film, on iTunes, but it was a while ago. And when I saw it for the first time, it didn't make sense to me. It's a very entertaining movie. And I think it's a really cute movie if you have a special love in your life and you're watching it together. It'd be really cute to watch. But I was watching it today, and I finally got it. I finally like I actually over the past few years I've watched the movie several times, but the first time I saw it, it did kind of freak me out, and I didn't want to watch it anymore. It's one of those movies. Sometimes you watch a movie and it kind of freaks you out. Well, that one did. But I do like the actor in the movie. So, I want to see the movie again. But I just felt a little creepy because I think it seemed too real for me to just relax about it. There was some other movie I've seen in the past, and I'm not sure the name of the movie, but I know that it had Tom Cruise in it. And I don't remember what it could have been. Vanilla Sky. I could be wrong, but it's like he's like by himself and he's riding some car in some city and something. It was some type of reality thing. And yeah, this that I think I saw that also around that same time, 2016 or even 2015. And it was too real. Yeah, that was a CD. Yeah. And I saw that back in America. It was a CD I had. I bought one day, I bought a whole bunch of CDs, movies. And I never watched the whole thing. I had to it was starting to give me an anxiety an anxiety attack. Yeah, it's so weird. And I understand that like in the movie The Matrix. Remember in the movie they mentioned that at a certain point in your life, to try to awaken someone, it could destroy them. And that's almost what I felt like when you have a belief system and it's something so contrary to your understanding of your reality, it makes you feel unstable mentally. Like, you don't know where to stand. Which way is the standing up straight. You feel disoriented in your foundation of your understanding of this physical world. Yeah, I've never watched it since. Um I couldn't take it. It actually, it when I think back, it actually frightened me. I mean, I've watched spooky movies before, the about ghosts and things like that. But it had a different fear. See, those are like I call external fears, like something more tangible that something could harm you. Putting your hand in a fire could harm you. Walking in the middle of traffic could harm you. You know what I mean? So that's a real fear. But this movie with Tom Cruise, and again, I'm not sure which movie it was, but it could have been Vanilla Sky. I'm not sure. But it came back. That movie came out the early 2000s, and it almost had like a panic feeling to it. It was really disoriented, and I had to turn it off. I couldn't watch it. Isn't it weird? I've seen gruesome things, depressing things, but something like this, I wasn't mentally ready for it. Yeah. So, what was this movie Source Code about? And I want to try to tie it in with visions because I also had a vision today. And I'm wondering where they come together. I'm really thinking more and more that this reality that we live in is a simulation. Everything about it. Another plane. Yeah, it is something. Again, it really is very, I mean, wow. It is like a matrix. Um, you have this physical world, and we've all had memories before, right? Or we daydream. And like when we daydream, you could daydream the same thing going over and over and over and over again, right? Where is that memory? Where does thoughts come from? Where do these visuals come from? Where is it stored? Because we're able to put back the same video in our head. Um, so I think, like a computer. Computers, it has a hardware and then a software. And the information is stored. And then when you know how to press the right keys to that computer, you can retrieve that information. It doesn't just go away, it's there. So, what I saw today, the vision I saw today, I was just relaxing. It was in, I think, the early afternoon today. Closed my eyes. I was just relaxing. And I saw a table, a dark table. It was a rectangular in shape. It was a dark color. And it was low on the ground. Yeah, I remember looking downward. I was standing. I thought I was standing, and I was seeing it from above, not too high up, but like I'm standing. I'm just looking downward, and it had a lot of objects on that table. And could see that it's a white wall around it. And I wonder, what is this room? Like when I see something now, I ask myself, is this a room that I know? What is this room that I'm seeing? But yeah, I don't know that table. So it sort of reminded me. I guess the war reminded me of a war back at my family's home. But that table's not what they have. But it reminded me of it a little bit. But it was not that space. There were, sorry, my phone. I have to remind myself to tap on the phone so it doesn't go dormant on me. So yeah, I'm not familiar with this space or the table. It was just a lot of little knickknacks on the table. I do not remember what the objects were, but there were small little things, multitudes of little objects on this table. And that's all that I remember. No real details about what the items were. There were just so many. But maybe in the future, just spot out one or two objects or something to try to retrieve some data. But they didn't seem significant or anything like that, and that's why maybe I didn't really pay attention. But I'm looking and saying, what is this space? So I asked myself, why am I seeing these things? I close my eyes and I do my little focus forward, and I usually see things. Um, it was it wasn't that clear. It was dim lighting also. It was relatively dim, but you could see that it's a dark table and little objects. It reflected light. Um, where are these? Where are these objects? Where are these spaces? It seems like now that it's not like just like one type of thing. Now it's just everything and anything that I could see. I could see people, male and female, but mostly male, if I remember right. Um, I've seen wildlife, um, how, objects in a house, walls, ceramic tiles, uh, birds, just numerous things. I wonder what this all is. Yeah, and before I had seen myself. I had seen myself, this back in America. I saw myself during a vision. My eyes are closed. And I was, and in front of me in the vision, I felt like I was standing. And then in front of me is myself sitting down on somewhere in my living room back then in America. And I had my notepad, my electronic device, and I was thumbing through it, like going, like swiping to the left, swiping to the right real fast, and I'm really entrenched in this. I was just wearing regular clothes. I think it was daylight. It was light in the room. No one else. I never get audio, but maybe one day I'll get the audio too. And I was wondering, I said, what is that? And I said, that's me. Yeah, I saw me from behind, like beyond, behind me and slightly to the left. And I said, that's me. And I'm just watching. So at the time when it happened, I was wondering, is this something that I was doing in the past? Or is this something that's going to be in the future? I still don't have an answer to it. Um, the arrangement of the soap was a little different. Um, yeah, that's what I was trying to pinpoint the position of the what I was sitting on, and not just the position of what I was sitting on, but what I was actually sitting on, because I had these two things that I could, things that I could sit on back then. And why I say it like that is because one of them I had to throw out, and that happened at a particular time period. So I didn't remember what it was, so I can distinguish. Hey, was that the sofa that I threw out, which would mean that it was something in the past, or was it something else? And so that maybe would be the future. So to this day, I really don't know, and I'm not living there anymore. So whatever what that was, it came and went. But it could have also been what they call a parallel existence, parallel life. I mean, that was me that I was watching. It was me. And it's almost spooky. Um, and then another time, I was taking a nap. I had my device on and it was playing a video in the background. Oh no, my mistake. No, that was something else. No, I was in my bedroom at the time back in New York. It was a weekend. It was a Saturday early afternoon, and then but I was sleeping on. I was resting on my back, and then all of a sudden, I saw myself looking back at me, my consciousness, like I'm in my bed. I feel the bed, full awareness, but I'm just deeply relaxed, and I'm seeing what looks like me standing and watching me, and I'm watching it. Blew my mind. First and only time something like that ever happened. But I was looking at it. I said, wow, she looks something like I said, even her hair's messy like mine. Yes, I did. And it would have been kind of on the dark side in the room because the curtains were drawn and it was real cloudy that day. So it would have been relatively dark. But I saw my skin illuminated as it's like if you get like a little, like it's very dark in the room, but you put on a little baby pin light or something, or little night light or fireplace, and how it it reflects off of your skin, the lighting, and it has a warm feel. So you can actually see your skin, and that's how I saw it. And I said to myself, "Oh, she's nice. She'd be a nice person." Yes, I did. Oh, and she was smiling back at me like a very light smile. no teeth showing, just a little a smile on the face. It lasted a couple of seconds. Yeah, it was amazing, amazing. First and only time something like that happened to me, and it looked real. It looked solid, but it was just to have the light reflected off the skin. Yeah, every detail of me, and it didn't look like it had any clothes on. Like I, I wasn't really wearing anything either, you know. Um, so it was like when I see something in a vision, it's like I see the whole thing at once. The whole. I didn't focus. I didn't like zoom in and focus, but I remember seeing that a lot of skin was showing. My arms were bare, and that's what I was saying to myself as I looked on this thing that looked like myself. So, what is this? What is this phenomenon? How is that our body, our mind could go places? I've been in situations where I feel like I'm an active participant, walking somewhere else. Sometimes I feel like I'm more of an observer, like you're looking at a TV screen, a passive watcher. Um, at one time, what I'm seeing is responding to me, which was really spooky. And another time, just remembering now, another time I witnessed on 3 occasions something from the far past. Like one was like what looked like the 1920s. Another time looked like yeah, it could have been the 1920s again. And one time what looked like the Civil War. That's 1865. So that's a broad spectrum of things. So the idea that you could see something in the past, and that thing with the Civil War thing, I saw two young men. They look very young. They look like maybe in the late teens, baby smooth face. They look clean. Uh, and they were actually, they seemed jovial. They seemed happy that like they were talking amongst themselves, and they're in that blue uniform with the hat on, the northern uh, troop, and they were standing uh, right by this. It looked like a flatbed, a wooden flatbed, and these large wooden wheels with wooden spokes in it. I assume that's something like you put um, weapons or something heavy on top, and you could roll it. I'm thinking something that could carry a cannon. That's what I'm thinking. And then it disappeared. And then I remember seeing a picture of something, and it was moved like a video playing. And then I wanted to focus more in on it. And then what popped in was a second video on the bottom right corner of the big video that was in motion. And the little baby one on the lower right was moving too. It was something old. I think it was a vehicle, old fashioned vehicle, and it was in motion. That particular experience really reinforced to me that I think what we see, how we process things, is like a computer. Because, like your television, can do the same thing. You can watch something on the screen, right? These fancy TVs, and those people want to see more than one thing at once. You could have it. play two things at once on one screen. One of the videos could be take up the whole screen, and the other one could be just a portion of the screen, and they're both actively playing at once. And that's what happened to me. And I believe really strongly that that our our brain is like a computer. It is like a computer. Um, it stores information. It can retrieve, and I think we can like dial into things. We can dial into a reality if we focus enough on it. It is so, oh my goodness. I just really, I think this movie, like the source code. Yeah, okay. So I mentioned about the different experiences, the different videos that I had today, and that these things could be stored somewhere, and you're able to retrieve it. So in the movie Source Code, it was a remarkable movie, a little love story, and it twisted in there too. It was really nice. Um, it was about an event that happened. It's a fictional story, but is it really fiction? Okay, well, Source Code was about an event that happened. The movie came out when people were still on what you call the BlackBerry phones, not the smartphones didn't come out yet. But um, there was a train entering Chicago in America, and someone had planted a device on that train in the movie, and they made it go off, and it destroyed everybody on the train. And so the military, um, somehow the military, I don't know how they intercepted that. They were doing an experiment. Um, they had the ability to. They had a machine, and the machine could take the body of someone, the brain of someone, the torso and the head of a deceased person, hook them up to this computer of some type, and they have what they call source code. It was hard to understand, but basically they say that like they made mention about a light bulb, and like when you have a light bulb on it, you can see like there's a glow to it. Yeah, I think they really meant to say when you have a light bulb on and then you turn off the light, but it has like a glow that remains, and this other factor to it, and that other factor lasts 8 seconds. And when you combine that other element that they're referring to plus the concept of the light having the glow, afterglow, you can utilize it. You could tap in onto it with the deceased person. Yeah, they retrieved the body of a deceased person that was on that train, onto another plane. They were able to retrieve the body, hook it up to the machine, and um, in addition to that, oh, I made a mistake. Wait a minute. I made a mistake. Okay, they 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 didn't get the body of the person that was on that train. My mistake. But they retrieved the body from a someone who died in battle. There's a um, military guy. He had passed away like 2 months prior, and somehow they were able to combine the military person who passed away, and they linked him energetically with a member that was on the train that had unalived, that they became unalived in. Okay. And they only have 8 minutes intervals to tap onto this particular period in time. So I guess like 8 seconds of the person's last moments in life, it's stored, and they're able to tap onto that 8 minutes before that person on that train expired. And the person that was from the military who passed away around 2 months prior, he has to energetically be compatible with the person who died on the train. So maybe because of the gender, the age, and all that, they energetically were compatible. He was a compatible subject in that experiment, and it proved to be very successful. But I find it like throughout the movie, like what they wanted, the whole point in the movie is that okay, they wanted they want the military guy who's not able to tap on energetically with the person that passed away in real life on that, I mean, in the movie, who passed away, and try to find. They have 8 minutes to try to find the person who planted the bomb, and to prevent it from happening. So it took 2 months of constantly going back and forth with this thing, 8-minute interviews to trying to find the person. But what would happen when after the 8 minutes he'll go back to so-called reality, and the military agency would ask him questions, but he was disoriented because he was still thinking. Well, he was thinking correctly. He was the military guy, and he doesn't realize that he had passed away. He didn't realize that, and so he discovers that he actually had passed away, but the military has this assignment, and he said, "Look, if you don't find the bomb, they believe he has another device that he's going to, um, you know, ignite." So it was imperative that he stop trying to question why is he there, all that, because he's a little disoriented. And as time goes on, he gets better at it to retrieve the information for them. Um, but where does it go? Like, okay, so he was doing these 8-minute clips over and over and over again. And so what would happen? Because each time he's experiencing himself being under the person that was in the train who passed, um, and becoming unalive constantly over and over again. So what is this reality? And we're telling her you can't change reality. You only have that 8-minute gap, and whatever happened. We just want you to we want you to um, just stop it from occurring. But you can't resave their life because they can't come back. Um, but But again, in the movie, at the end of the movie, what do we discover? We discovered at the end of the movie, like a matrix, that it's you can create new waves of reality, just like the double slit experiment with the particles. The, like, consciousness creates those particles to become either like a wave format. And so it's human consciousness that creates our reality. That was the whole point of the double slit experiment about what is reality, what makes us see what we see. And the whole point is, the whole thing is about human consciousness. They say human consciousness creates our reality. So in the movie, what was creating his reality? Well, he was able to energetically tap onto the energy of someone who had passed. And because he couldn't find the the device, it unalived the people on that train in the movie. Um, but at the end, at the end of the movie, he does find the device, and he disarms it, and no one passes away. So the character in the movie, Source Code, um, he had borrowed his friend's cell phone, and he said, "Hey, this is Captain So and So. This is for so and so to read, and uh, if you're able to get this message, I just thwarted this attempt." Somebody, lighting this device, or blah blah blah, and etc. And he sends off the email. So at the very end of the movie, um, well, what confused me in the movie. Now I watched the movie several times over the years, but didn't fully understand the end. But now I understand the end. I watched it. I had watched it twice today. Okay. So what happens at the end of the movie? Now, well, the character that prevented the explosion at the very end. See, he made a deal with one of the military people. Now, he was doing this exercise over and over again, and it's 2 months now. And so he's reliving the death of this person in the movie, okay, over and over again. And he says, I'm getting tired, and, you know, um, I want to save the girl in this train, um, but he says, I don't I want to just do it one more time, or something like that. Um, See if I could try to save the people. Give me at least one more time, and after that, pull the plug on me. I don't want to live anymore, because he already knows that he's technically deceased. So he does prevent. Okay, he was able to prevent. Oh, how did it go now? Okay, okay, yeah, I remember what happened now. Now the train had two, like like it had two things on the explosive, and he thought he disarmed it fully, but he did not. It had a second component to it that he didn't know about. He only removed one, but he um, was able to warn them. Oh, how did it go? How did it go now? I think he was able to warn them about the truck. There was a truck that also had explosives on it. And oh, so how to go now? Yes, okay, I remember. Okay, it gets so confusing, people. You got to see the movie Source Code. It's an old movie. Oh, okay, I remember. Um, yeah, he he got off the the train, and so but he does he. Oh gosh, he was able to let the people know that with the device. The second there's a truck that has a device on it. He was able to send a message out, and in the real life, you know, they did find the truck, so a lot of people's lives were saved. But again, okay, yeah, but again, the train though, he didn't know it had a second device inside that component, so that did blow up, but they were able to retrieve the the truck that had a device in it. So he had told this lady in the movie, he said, "Hey, I really like this lady that I see, and if I could just give me another chance, um, the the train, ignited. It had to have a second device in it. Give me at least one more time. And, I got I already told you about the device that's in the van. And, but let me just get one more time and get the train uh, resolved." So she felt sorry for him. She says, "Okay, I'll let you go back the 8 minutes, and we'll pull the plug after, as we promised." Okay. So so they allow him to go back, and he does disarm the second component on the device on the oops. I'm sorry, the device that's on that train. He disarms it. And then all of a sudden, in the so-called real life situation, it's thwarted. About the device that was on the van is discovered, and he's like being getting congratulated. Oh wow, you're able to um, save the town because the device didn't go off on this van. But at the same time, the guy now the 8 minutes, that's the guy who's actually deceased, but they're borrowing his body. Um, his 8 minutes are up, and he is fortunate enough to disarm the second device that's on that same train, and she felt sorry for him. But the guy, the lady's boss says, "Hey, no, what do you think you're doing?" She realized he realized he was told that the lady's going to pull the plug on the military guy who had died, but they're borrowing his body. They said, "Wow, this machine works so well. We just prevented all these lives. No, keep them alive." So wow. So she does pull the plug, and then they barge in the room right after she did it, and that's when you see what the guy really looked like, and that's what disturbed me in the movie. I know it's kind of, I'm not explaining to my best, but that part of the movie, when I saw it for the first time, really grossed me out. The guy only had a torso. He had died in battle, and but they were able to utilize his body and con- connect these electrodes to him, and somehow energetically connect him with the deceased that was on the train that had the device on it. It's really interesting. Um, so okay, Okay, so but before, like what happened when he was able to disarm the device on the train completely, a new parallel existence began at that point. It was amazing. It was very emotional to watch. Um, but yes, like a new ripple, a new wave of existence got created at that point in that reality. And in that new wave of reality, he had he had written a text, an email to this lady that was communicating to him in the military, and said, "Hey, if you're getting this email, I just prevented the train from, igniting, and I was able to talk to uh, the father of him, and blah blah blah, and um, if." If this is really true, if you get this message, this um, scientific study, you know, is worth it. And to please sign them up for the next assignment, something like that. And wow, it blew my mind. Source code. Yeah. And so again, I watched this movie several times before, but I didn't get the end of the movie. It was very complex, but it was a new wave of existence. So it was as if, even though in the movie they got the truck, the van, and um, they're all heroes now. But in addition to that, the people on the train don't die in this new wave of existence, and it's like day one, as if nothing had ever happened in the life of the people in the military, because they only got really utilized this experiment because the people in the train had died. But now that the people in the train didn't die, then the guy wasn't initiated to do the experiment because it didn't happen. It just blew my mind. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. It is really something. So why am I so excited about this? Well, I believe that Hollywood, they they share their secrets. Hollywood, even the word Hollywood, as I mentioned before, as it was told to me, that Hollywood is a name of a wood that people of the occult use. It was like a want to make a magic wand. And magic wand is to make, Hollywood creates magic, right? They create illusions and realities. They manipulate the mind to make you believe what you see is real. That's the art of, well, I guess, performing. So, um, what was I just saying now with this reality? Well, it's really something the that Hollywood likes to share its secrets. And why? I don't know. I mean, if you want to keep things secret, keep it secret, But see, they want to rub it in your face because I've been told that they, I guess, because of karma, like if you let someone know what they're going to do, then you can say, "Well, I told them." Um, that's the logic, but it's like they want you to know what's really going on. And I guess maybe that if you don't understand, if you can't understand the concept of a certain thing, then maybe it won't affect you. So they want it to affect you. So they let you know enough about reality so it can take hold of you. Once you really start, when you're able to perceive a truth, that's when it really affects you. You know, and David Icke talked about things like this. Like he's like people were asking, well, aren't you afraid? You know, you're given all this information, David Icke, about reality, you know, all these weird groups. He says, I'm not afraid of them because only those things that you could perceive as being real. So I hope I'm not misphrasing him, but basically, it can't touch him because he doesn't accept it. He will not accept that into his reality, so he doesn't experience that reality. I mean, that is masterful thinking. Um, if it were that simple, when people just say, "Hey, I'm not going to accept this happening to me or that happening," life happens, you know. But well, that's what he said, something to that effect. And so maybe it's the same thing. If you, oh, also the movie, it's either called Payday or Paycheck with Ben Affleck. It also came out many years ago, early in the millennial, I think. And at the end of the movie, it was about like a time machine. And at the end of the movie, the main character is saying that if someone tells you your future, you don't have a future anymore. It's just like you're doomed to that event. And so that's why they didn't want to have a time machine, because if you know what the future holds, you don't live, you don't live. You just are just waiting for fate to happen. Something like that. And I thought that was an interesting concept, you know. Yeah, if you know everything, then you know it's like you're always in apprehension, you know, that it's going to happen in any moment. So maybe that aspect of it, of reality, is a component. But see, you have these movies now, and they're discussing about reality, and Hollywood seems to be really good about this reality thing. Um, it just seems like now things are just very, very. It's getting out of hand. Even the things that I'm watching now, or at least what's being presented to me, based on what I'm watching, you know, um, they that they're talking about negative things. Like oh, what's that thing now? With Jeffrey Epstein, and the current administration wants to dismiss the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein. And those of you who don't know about Jeffrey Epstein, um, I think he passed on maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I think 2019, in the summer, and he was arrested um, for child trafficking, uh, sexual assault. He was a real sleazy guy, and he would blackmail people. He has a very questionable past, and there's a lot of secrets about him. um, Secrets on how he became rich, and secrets of how he got certain jobs without credentials. And he is associated with the current administration head. I don't want to use his name, but it seems like something is being hidden. And oh, what's the whole point of me mentioning about that? Um, oh well, but I guess about with reality, and there's things that are hidden, and I guess like certain things it seems like reality has You have people who want to manipulate your future, your sense of perception, but you also have another component of beings that want to take your energy, your sexual energy, and um, you 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 have these entities, according to some researchers, that could manifest in your life. Um, some people talk about with the secret space program, the things that they're doing to people, the abductions, and it might be all be it might all be tied into each other, you know. But it's a way of controlling so that they could utilize us for their purpose, whether it be to take our energy, um, to control. It's all about control, and like just like in the movie The Matrix. So again, Hollywood is sharing its understanding, and yeah, so the current administration is yeah, everything seems to be tipsy, really getting very agitated. So, well, life is like a cycle, they say. Life is very cyclic, and it seems like it's speeding up. And so, yeah, I think what I mentioned about Jeffrey Epstein, that things are getting just, it doesn't make sense, and eh, things are being erratic. And maybe this erraticness is the sign that like a light bulb. People like a light bulb. Before a light bulb goes out, it gets its brightest and then it goes dark. And so, like what's happening here, things are becoming more and more erratic, intense. It's everything intensifying. The weather is intensifying. People's behavior is intensifying. And before, you know, just right at that point, then before it goes out, it reaches peak, then it's goes through a new cycle. And maybe that's all what this is all about. And maybe like in the movie, what's that movie? The 13th floor, and about again different realities. Um, and sometimes they were able to modify certain things, or in the source code, they created a new wave of existence, and their reality is based on what they were focusing on, and they were able to, I guess, will it to happen. So very interesting people, and I guess also what makes this matrix work is because you have different what you call faith-based systems slash religion. And I think that is the main core of the new people on the block. The I believe that some of the major religions were created so that it could manipulate people. It's like a program. Religion is a program. And even in the religions, it talks about messiahs, and that. So they know in these religions, in order to make something happen, you have to program them to accept that can happen. Look at with the Bible. You talk about, okay, that there you had a people, and uh, then you had a person that these people that were. Um, what they call God's chosen, and and God was to work through these people, and then the Messiah figure, and then like in the book of Revelation, that this new paradise. So it goes through a series of things, and then there's a rebirth. but it has to go through a lot of crap. But so I think many of these faith systems pretty much are saying the same thing. They're looking for someone to help them. And so if it was a program in them through these scriptures, how would they be living their life? You have people on this planet, they just they don't have history books. Everything's oral history, and they seem to be living in peace. Why is it that these so-called spiritual people don't seem to live in peace? And they seem to hate the planet. So that's why I think that with these newer faith systems, that these people came later. I believe that you had an original people, and then what you see now are the new kids on the block, and they were imposed these faith systems as a program to program them to behave a certain way and for certain things to occur in their lives. And it's like a game to them. And it's all fun. Why you see these people, you see people who are miserable and they go through life. They go, I mean, people are finding out certain realities. People are seeing through the other side of the veil. And if they push the issue too much about certain truths, they seem to be unalived, which is a real tragedy. And I think that's what happened to that person I did a memorial for. It's almost 3 months now since this person's passing. Yeah, yes, something is not right. But what I can say is I'm glad that I left that environment. Um, it's like it's like yeah, you have a choice of different. I don't want to say poisons, but I just felt if I stayed in my own environment, man, I'd be in the middle of real chaos. I'm glad that I did move. Um, yeah, the world's had a big mess, and I think it's all deliberate. It's all deliberate, and I feel that it really started increasing in 2016. At least my perception of things started changing in 2016 about the current politics. Um, but yeah, Hollywood, the music industry, it's like they have a quest of this control. And I say, well, why try to control somebody else? Control yourself. Control yourself. You cannot control everybody. You might be able to control most people, but you can't control everyone because you can't control yourself. And that is your problem. You can't control yourself. And you're wasting so much of your time. Um, like people keep saying, like they want to, what do you call it? What do you call it? Not economic wars, trade war. That's the word they call it. They call it trade wars. What is trade all about? What trade is about, you have a product and you're trading it for something else, such as money, currency. But it should be reciprocated, back and forth. It's not, see, people want to just have all of it in your hand. They want they want trade. they want to give something of, and then get money. But once you have all the money, what the hell are you going to do with it? You too need things to live on. It's a very immature thinking. And again, money is not real. This money system is a fake, it is artificial, and it is a real enemy of humanity. It is not your friend. And you notice Hollywood, the music industry, television, they all entice you through money and also fame. But fame is what fame to one person might mean something to somebody else, but it's that recognition. It to give you a sense of grandeur, I guess. Feeling like you are a god. But God doesn't need money. A true God doesn't need money to live. But we want to feel like we're gods. We're all that. But we're showing that we're really vulnerable because you're fixated on this money, and then you're fixated on things, and these things get old and raggedy. And you notice now they're not even making the things well. They don't care. Let's make something cheap and flimsy, so they keep on having buying it over and over again. And it's at um their demise because pollution that occurs. Um, and the competition to be on top, to get this money. But like, you have all the money, but you 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 can only do so much. You can only do so much. Let's say someone has apartment buildings, and they even call them landlords. Well, if that person can't pay the rent, you don't have money either. Yes, you could kick them out, but if everybody lost their job, how are you? Um, Life is about balance. And you might be able to hoard all the buildings, but also you're hurting yourself because you don't live in a bubble. You have to get your food, your supplies from somewhere. You don't own everything. So it's really fruitless, this type of existence of wanting this thing called money. So what? So you can pay your rent, or buy a house, or pay off your mortgage, buy medicines. you know, it seemed like a system that it was a created system, and they make it feel real. So what if, like in the movie 13th Floor, they have on this virtual reality glasses, and they were able to transport into this game and then come back. Um, and then it turns out there was an assimilation within a simulation. I remember someone saying something like that. Okay, let's say you're in, like in the movie The Matrix. They get out of that cocoon, right? And then they think they're free. But what if that's a simulation too? So a dream within a dream within a dream. When does it stop? And where did it, what really created all this? There's a thing called fractals. A fractal, yeah, there's that double slit experiment with about reality, about the particle and the wave that creates our sense of reality. Um, just forgetting now. Um, yeah, the movie is it's like there are different layers. There are different layers of existence. And I'm wondering when I do these meditations, is this just because they say your consciousness creates your reality? Is this just traveling in different realities? People, the more I think about this, the more questions I have, and it's like why do I get so worked up about all these things that are happening around me when there's so many other things happening right now through these meditations? They said nothing is really destroyed or created, it just changes. People, I don't know. I don't want to get so worked up with even though I moved away from America, but I'm still very much, I feel very tied to it energetically because of my curiosity of what's happening. I was born and raised there. I have family there, and I don't know where it's headed, but it doesn't look good for many of us. Why the need for this changing of, I mean, all this backbiting? It's just, wow. It's not worse to fuss people. Just so long for me, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach, I have relatively very good health. Why can't we just enjoy the moment, people? Why all the fight? Or why do we want to all be on top? And in the end, you cannot take it with you. You can't take your money with you. You can't take your possessions with you. You start all over again. Or is the game that you try to remember your past life? Or you get reincarnated to, let's say, uh you're gonna have a child or something, you get reincarnated to the family of people who are gonna inherit your wealth. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where what's it all for. It's really it's really a headache, people. It's a headache. But people, go see that movie Source Code. It's an old movie. It came out uh, the early millennium. Um, it's good action. It's a love story in there, and I believe. Oh, you know what else? That movie. The location of that laboratory in the movie was in Nevada. Nevada. A lot of those bases, military bases, and uh, underground cities, or whatever what you call it, DUMBs, DUMB, deep underground military base. Yeah, that's what it stands for. That they mentioned there. Maybe, oops, I have a why is under such security? Nevada, part of Colorado, Arizona, Texas. I believe those machines really exist, as in the movie The Source Code. It's too detailed. It's too detailed for it to not be real. If you can focus and design an idea to that degree in a movie, it's because it exists. Oh, you know what else? With the other movie that just come into my mind now that I saw years ago? It's with Denzel Washington called Deja Vu. That's another good movie. Maybe I'll watch that movie tonight too. Deja Vu. Deja Vu. Um, it's a similar concept that something happened in the past, the near past, and this agency has a machine, and they want to prevent it from happening. You know, they want to get to go in the past to prevent it from happening. This bad event that happens in Louisiana. And so, yeah, it's the same thing. The machine, it was really, really, you got to see that. You got to see that too. Watch both of them, Source Code and Deja Vu. Both of them very similar. And a love story. Yeah, both of them had a love story twist in it. And it's really about the same thing, that reality is like a wave, and you can keep going back and forth, back like a cycle, going over and over and over again, you know. And yeah, they were able in Deja Vu, they were able to see. They said they have what, oh God, how many hours? Oh, I forget how many hours, but they're watching this like a video stream that of something in the past before the bad event happens, and they're only able to see, let's say for example, 4 hours before an event happens, you know, in the stream. And so they can't rewind it. It's like a flow. It just keeps on going. But they can manipulate it, it turns out. And the character in the movie in Deja Vu was able to go in this box, and then they transported his body back in the like a day before the incident happened. And of course he saves the people, you know. Oh well, he saved the masses of people, but something happened to him too. Yeah, you gotta see it. I Yeah, when that movie came out, Deja Vu came out in 2007. I remember that day because I remember I was in school at that time. Yeah. And I remember the big advertisement in Times Square of the movie. So it just really stood on my mind. And I enjoy the actor as well. But when I watched it in the movie theater, I was on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat because I knew that was real. Even though it's Hollywood, how does Hollywood could make up a concept about this? And they use this technical jargon and just trying to describe what they call string theory and all this other stuff, and bending reality. You know, you can't go the speed of light. You have to bend it, and so it's like connecting two opposite dots together, so you're creating like a portal. It's amazing. It is simply amazing, that movie. And Watch it, people. Watch the movie. Yeah, Deja Vu. Oops. Yeah, watch the movie Deja Vu and Source Code. Yeah, boy, this is the first time that both of those movies popped up in my mind. I watched Source Code today twice. But yeah, maybe I'll watch Deja Vu again. Um, yeah, I believe Hollywood knows about these machines. They have, oh wow, you know what else I'm thinking? Hollywood exists for you to finance um, these technologies. Yet you get in the millions, and they got to fund it somehow. So the Hollywood creates a movie, but it's they're raising money for these technologies, I think. Also, they do the drugs. You know, they sell the drugs also for money too. But yeah, Hollywood. Hollywood said something with Hollywood. Hollywood is really, and you just look at the people who started Hollywood. Study the people of Hollywood who started Hollywood. It's a network of people. They have an agenda. This Hollywood, and they're associated. Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of these people, they're all interconnected. These systems of control, and it's to control our mind, our realities, because they have a goal. And it's like now the goal is AI. They want to destroy the planet. They want to destroy humanity. These are haters. These are haters, true haters of the creator of this simulation. It's a beautiful, I mean, really, the natural order of things is really a beautiful place. But a virus got tangled up with us, and they are trying to destroy us. Wow. Horrible. Horrible. I don't know. I don't know. So what if they are trying to destroy? But still, what about the parallel existences? How is that affected? How are parallel lives affected in all this? It's countless. It's probably countless. Like a fractal. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention about a fractal. What is a fractal? Like if you zoom in on something with an electron microscope, and then you zoom in on a specific spot of that, and it repeats itself. It's like a pattern. You look at nature like a seashell, uh, cruciferous vegetables shows the fractals. It's like when you zoom in on a little portion of it, it's a replication of the same thing. And that's also what a what do you call that thing? It's a flat image. Oh, what do you call that thing? A hologram. A hologram is the same thing. A hologram is equivalent to a fractal. A hologram, if you take a little piece of a hologram, each little piece is actually the picture of the whole. Every fragment of that is a replication of the whole. And so you can do the same thing. Wow. Yeah, if this reality is like a fractal, it's just a continuation of it. So let me, yeah, I'm just going on and on, people. But something's going on. And I don't want us, and I speak to myself when I say this too. I say this for myself too. So you have to sometimes talk to yourself. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, yeah, society is getting really bent out of shape. All these people are going out of their mind, but we don't have to. And if we can create our own reality, like in source code, he found his love of his life, and he was willing to sacrifice to live in that new parallel existence to be with the girl. That's a beautiful story. Yeah. So if you have an opportunity to create a beautiful story for yourself, create that beautiful story for yourself and live happily ever after. Okay? Yeah, so this is Spirit Journey. I said, oh, wow, I'm on for a while. Yeah, this is Spirit Journey. Today is July the 21st, 2025. The time now is 10 p.m. Peace, love, joy, and harmony to you all. Until next time. Bye bye.